Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins for BACC. I am here with Adam Mackler, who's the managing partner of the Capital Grille Burlington. Adam, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You know what? I'm excited to have you today because you are every component of this show today, which I love. We're going to chamber spotlight at the Capital Grille, and you really have so many roles within the community. So I said this a million times to you. I'm going to say it again just so I don't forget. You are such an integral part of Burlington. You tie yourself into the community and giving back. You know, obviously the Capital Grille is a long-standing restaurant in town, and then you're part of the chamber. So on behalf of everybody, I want to thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
No, it's really a pleasure. It really is.
Well,
I mean, I want to highlight so many things about you, but let's start about the obvious. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been in Burlington, how long you've been with the Capital Grille.
Sure. So I started here in Burlington at the Capital Grille 12 years ago.
Yes.
I took over as the managing partner 11 years ago, and I've been with the Capital Grille 28 years. This September will be 28 years.
Yeah, and we'll cover it on Chamber Spotlight, but I want to congratulate you. You are a recipient, or the restaurant is a recipient of the Diamond Award?
Yes. So it's Darden, which is our company, highest honor.
Yeah.
And, you know, it showcases, it's a team effort that it showcases top 5 Capital Grilles in the country.
Yeah.
So tremendous honor and just a total team effort. So very proud.
It is something to be proud of because it really looks at the group as a whole, correct?
Yeah,
meaning
it does, yes.
The Burlington restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a perfect segue for me because really what we talked about and when we said we wanted to have you on as our guest and as our spotlight is you really wear a couple of hats in the community, and one of them is you chair the restaurant group for the Chamber of Commerce. So let's talk about that a little bit, Adam, because I know that anybody who's watching knows that Burlington's almost become like a hot spot for restaurants.
It's a tremendous hot spot.
And you think about when you first came, by comparison now, to speak to that a little bit about the difference of restaurants.
Yeah, there wasn't too many restaurants. I mean, you know, especially steakhouses.
Right.
And you know, now it's filled with restaurants, and I think that it's a spot where people could come without going to the city right now.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you, the restaurants are some great restaurants here.
Yeah, I said the bar is so high in
Burlington
now, right?
It really is. It's
when you
some
start
incredible
comparing,
places.
It really is beautiful. So one of my favorite events, which is something that you helped huge on and the Capital Grille is always there for, is the Taste of Burlington.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
It's so much fun. And for those of you who've never been to it, just a little bit of background, it's 25 restaurants.
Yes.
The Marriott houses it inside there, and everybody kind of brings their best wares.
Yes.
Right? And it's come a long way with all of the restaurants that are there. So, so talk about that a bit. Talk about how restaurants have really come together. I mean, when you think about it, there is 25 groups who in theory are competing, but talk about that whole concept of restaurants and how they kind of help each other.
Well, I will tell you that this particular Taste of Burlington, everyone brought their A game. I mean, the food, everyone's setup was just incredible to see and to learn from. But yeah, there is, you know, a lot of these restaurants are competition.
Right.
But you know what? It's a group of people that we're here and we help each other too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, you know, a lot of help going on too behind the scenes with the different restaurants.
So a message for the community that watches. I mean, having other restaurants here isn't necessarily a hindrance for restaurants. It's people working together.
It's people working together.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of restaurants, but you know what? We all work together and we all do our own little thing.
Yeah.
And we all have our specialties.
Yes.
And I think there's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone. That's actually a great way to say it, Adam. I mean, when you walk into your restaurant, there's always people there. There's not really a lack of people there. But I want to talk a bit about the differential between pre-COVID days and post-COVID days, and what restaurants look like now by comparison.
Well, I mean, I think we learned a lot from the pandemic. You know, we were able to. I mean, restaurant people in general are resilient.
Yes.
And you know, we definitely showed that. I mean, for us, it really brought us all together.
Yes.
It brought us together with the team, my managers, the people that work there, and our guests that supported us while we were closed, which we were still doing takeout.
Yes.
But we weren't open for people to come into the restaurant. So it really showed us different ways how we could do things. And, you know, although it wasn't the best thing to happen, we turned it into a positive and then learned a lot from it.
I say that. I say people, you know, it was not really a great time, I guess we'll call it, but you came out learning a little bit of something, you know, and knowing what to do with certain things.
Yeah, for instance, Mother's Day, during the pandemic, we did 350 to-go orders.
Unbelievable.
For Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And we weren't even open to come dine.
Isn't that amazing?
It was an incredible time.
Yeah, and I guess the way I always look at it is no one ever thought of going to the Capital Grille or any of those restaurants for that matter to get takeout.
Yes.
But yet that's what kind of turned over.
Yes.
Now we're still talking a little bit about the daytime population. Tell us what lunch looks like by comparison for you, or is, you know, if you were to say there was still a struggle, you know, what's going on with the daytime population?
It's definitely, we haven't seen the full business community come back yet.
Yes.
So that is definitely noticeable to us.
Right.
We're still, you know, very busy and we're still doing well, but we, you know, we don't see a lot of those business meetings like we used to in the past. There are some, but there used to be much more.
Yeah, and so I think that as the daytime population hopefully starts to grow, lunch will start to pick up again, yes. Right? But it is really still that challenge of, yes. of trying to bring all of that together.
It really is.
Yeah, so, and let's talk about the chamber a bit, because you
sure.
and I are both involved in that.
Love the chamber.
Love the chamber. I know, right? Thank you. Thank you. We didn't even pay him to say that.
Nope,
love the chamber, yeah. But, you know, talk about the camaraderie of that, like also during pandemic, but even just in general, like, you know, what the chamber does for us.
Well, so the chamber does a couple different things, but first it's really, you know, it's there for us in case anybody needs anything.
Yes.
And, you know, since I've started, you know, the chamber has been nothing but, you know, helpful and always there for me if I ever needed anything.
Yes.
So that's one thing.
I know. I can say it too. Wait, you know what?
Yeah.
I always say the Chamber of Commerce is one of those things that ties everything together.
It really does.
Government relations-wise, community-wise, it's all of those things kind of melded together.
Yeah, and I mean, if you needed help, like I've had two different restaurants call me for help with something.
Yes.
Which has been great.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, anytime you call, you know, Rick, everyone is there to help and see what we need.
Yeah, and I love that you said if another restaurant needed something, because I think people, again, I mean, not to drive home what we talked about a few minutes ago, but it's really that concept that all of these restaurants are working together because
yes.
you're just trying to get to the common goal.
Yeah, people call all the time. My restaurant, my chef has a great relationship with everyone, and if they
yes.
need something, can I borrow something? Could we borrow something? And yeah, it's competition, but it's also a very tight community, the restaurant people. It
is a very tight community. So speaking of that, let's go see your chef and let's go see the Capital Grille. It was amazing because the years go by. The Chamber and BACC did a show back in 2018, yes. and we decided we're going to Chamber Spotlight and go back to the Capital Grille. Right. So we'll be right back after we get ourselves to the Capital Grille. Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins. So excited to be at our Chamber Spotlight today at a Burlington staple. The Capital Grille has been a long-standing restaurant in Burlington. Those who come here know it's beautiful for lunch, it's beautiful for dinner, it's beautiful to celebrate, it's beautiful to have a business meal in. I'm looking forward to welcoming you back into something we've been to before and be able to see some of the great things they have inside. All right, I'm with Adam Mackler, managing partner of the Capital Grille. Adam, thank you so much for having us again.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's amazing because we've been doing this for a long time. I think we came to visit you back in 2018, pre-COVID days. So a lot has changed, yes. But one thing always remains constant, which is A, the reputation of the Capital Grille, and B, just the spectacular feeling you get when you walk in this restaurant.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell us how long you've been here and how long the Capital Grille has been in Burlington.
So now I've been here for 12 years at this location. I've been with the Capital Grille for 28 years this September. Wow. And this location's been here, I think, 07, so 17, 18 years now.
It's changed, right? Burlington has changed a little bit. When you first came, there wasn't as many steakhouses or as many restaurants around, but now, really, there's a lot around you. And what I'm always impressed with is that, you know, you have consistently stayed as one of the premier places to be in town. I do have to add that you and your team have been very benevolent throughout Burlington. So before I say anything else and before we talk steak and all great things, you know, on behalf of the community, we want to thank you because you do give back a lot. So talk a little bit about Darden, about the Capital Grille, and about that giving back philosophy.
Well, I mean, you know, with Darden in the Capital Grille, you know, that's one of our core values is you know, giving back to our communities. Yes. You know, the Capital Grille was doing it before I got here, and, you know, we added a bunch of our, you know, charities when I started here. And, you know, Burlington is just a big part of who we are, and we love being a part of the community. You do it with People Helping People with that, but a lot of other charities as well. The most recent one is the People Helping People, and I think we raised $14,000.
All right, let's talk food. So tell me about the Capital Grille's menu. Tell me about the steaks. Why are you so unique by comparison?
Well, I mean, so I think we're one of the only restaurants that dry age our steaks in-house. We have an in-house butcher. His name is Josue, and he's probably one of the most talented people in the restaurant. And he hand sculpts each steak. We do a filet mignon, we do our sirloin, our bone-in, do our ribeye, and he hand sculpts each piece of steak to order.
It's amazing. If people haven't been here, Adam, talk about your menu a little bit, because it's not just a steakhouse.
No, we have a wonderful seafood menu. We have our tuna. We have probably one of the best salmons. People come in here and they love our salmon.
Yes.
The lamb chops is one of the best things on the menu. We have an incredible lunch menu. We do something called our plates menu for lunch. It was developed for the business community to kind of come in, have a quick lunch, and get back to the office. But now it's kind of evolved into business or coming in with friends and family. And that plates menu comes with a super salad and it comes with an entree.
I'm glad you said that, because I think sometimes people envision that if they're going to go to the Capital Grille, it's a commitment of a few hours because it's this long dinner, which it absolutely can be.
It can be.
But what you're saying is someone can come in, grab a quick lunch, or even sit at the bar. Talk about the bar atmosphere at the Capital.
Well, the bar here, we have long-term bartenders here that are some of the best I've ever worked with in the business. We have a lot of bar regulars that come in. We have a very unique specialty cocktail menu. If you don't know, please come in for our Stoli Doli.
Everybody.
Which is the everybody.
Yeah.
I always tell people that we're as famous for that as steak.
Yes.
But it's our pineapple-infused vodka martini. Just delicious, summer, winter. And, there's most nights the bar is filled, and it's a really fun environment.
Yeah. While we're talking about the bar, talk about your wine list, because you have an extensive one.
We're very blessed. We have an award-winning wine list. We have an incredible wine director that works here with me, Jessica. You could get wines from France, Napa, all over the world, and different price points as well. So we like to match different price points with the wine. The team is trained to, when you come in, and you might want a little education on that, or you might know what you want. And we'll be able to lead you to what would work well with your dinner.
Let's talk about your team, because you've said
best.
two different, I love that. You said two different things just even in this conversation. First, you name people by name. You've said they've been here a long time. They are the best in the industry, among the best in the industry, right? And let's talk about how Darden acknowledged that for you.
We were blessed last year, 2023, we won Darden's highest honor, which is called the Diamond Club for Darden. And it's a team award, and they base it on several different categories that you kind of have to, blend all together to win it. Yeah. And this team really stepped up. Part of it is, of course, sales, it's team member turnover, and it's our guest surveys, which we were one of the highest in the company. And, that's from our team.
And we're sitting actually in a room that's a private dining room. So while we're talking about just different areas and whether you're coming in to celebrate or you're bringing in a business person, talk about your private dining areas and the possibility to do private events here.
Yeah, so we have 3 rooms. This is the boardroom. Some people call it the Betty Davis room.
Yeah.
So Capital Grille has portraits around the dining room with people that have done stuff in the area. So Betty Davis, I think, was from Lowell. This one seats up to 12 people. Very nice for a business setting or a birthday. Yeah. We also have another room called the wine room, which seats up to 32, and that's a great one for lunch. We have businesses come in, different firms, pharmaceutical, real estate, and they come in and they do their presentation. We have big screen TVs in each room. And then we have another room, which is great, called the Wayside Room, and that seats up to 20. And that's another perfect setting for family or business.
Adam, one of the things that I really, if I could say, loved during COVID, which, that's like a tough thing to say, but lessons we learned during that. I remember very vividly coming and getting takeout from the Capital Grille, which was kind of like a bonus at that point, right? Does that takeout still happen? Are you still? It does. Yeah, it's still available then.
It really is. It's still available, and it's something that we still do. I mean, we still do our steaks to take home with you from our butcher shop that we still do. But that was something that really evolved to something really big during COVID, and it's something that's stuck. And if you want to, maybe there's a night that you don't want to, go out to dinner and you want the Capital Grille at home, the chefs here do an incredible job. They treat it like it's in dining food, and you could take it home and have a wonderful dinner at home.
And there were like little tidbit secrets from the chef inside the bag.
Yes, we still do that, how to cook it. We give you our seasoning, our special seasoning that we use, and instructions on how to cook the steak.
And what do they do? Call and order it? How do they do that?
You can come in and order it, or you can call on the phone and call ahead, and then when you arrive, we'll have it ready for you.
Chef, I love it back here. This is like the heart of the Capital Grille, right? Talk a little bit about your butcher area and the meat you bring in.
Yeah, this is definitely our favorite place here. This is where we make all our magic happen. So in here, we set up all our strip loins. You'll see the different color as it goes up. Each shelf is done. We go between 18 to 21 days for our dry age process. Every time he pulls one to cut, he replaces it back up. So we keep, right now my par is about 150 strips on the shelf. which is good for us for our season right now.
Yes.
We find like 18 to 21 days is a great spot for us to be in as far as our dry aging. Some people can go for 40 days, some people go 30 days, some people go less. For us, the longer you do it, you get a more gamey taste to the meat, but it's still, our meat is still tender for that point, 18 to 21 days.
Talk a little bit about, you have a harvest program. What does that entail?
Every Darden restaurant donates steak, mashed potatoes, different types of food that we don't use in the restaurant, and we donate it to different food pantries in the area. And every single Darden restaurant does it. So I think it's probably one of the most important things that we do as a restaurant company.
It's all about giving back, whether you're doing that by bringing people into the restaurant and doing fundraisers, or doing that by giving food that you're not necessarily using here, but is obviously still very good steak.
Yes, exactly.
We are with Chef Tommy Patrick. Chef Tommy, you've been the executive chef for how long at the Capital Grille?
17 years.
17?
I've been with the Capital Grille 17 years.
That's amazing. All right, tell us what you're making for us today.
All right, doing two things today. One is we're doing an 8-ounce sliced filet. All our fillets are all center cut fillets. We slice it and we let it rest. I'm going to do a mid-rare today, and we're going to finish it with a shrimp scampi. And then we're also going to be doing a 10-ounce Kona salad. We call it's a Rick style because it gets balsamic and oil over it. A little bit different than our Kona shallot butter. It is a 10-ounce sirloin. We put our Kona rub on it, and it's going to be sliced, going with a fresh mozzarella, arugula, heirloom tomato salad. Let's do this. Let's start. There we go. Our seasoning salt with all sides of the steak.
Yes.
Make sure it's very tender. Sirloin cooks very quick, about 4 to 5 minutes, that'll be done. Filet, about 7 minutes. So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our shrimps, a little bit of our seasoning salt, both ways, nice seasoning, right on the flat top.
I was saying with Adam earlier, Chef, you're known for your steak, but your seafood is just as beautiful here.
We sell a ton of seafood here, very fresh, every day comes in. Cherry tomatoes, roasted garlic, and then we'll go over here. Got a nice char going on it. So the white wine. We let it cook down with the white wine. We get our flavors of our tomatoes, the garlic flavor coming into the scampi itself. So we'll let that keep cooking. Check our steaks. Don't need any more that. That one cook a little bit more. All right, shrimp's curling up. Looks like it's just about done. Finish it with a little bit of garlic butter. Basil. At the end, fresh lemon. We're gonna go salad.
Okay. Balsamic.
Yep, so it gets a little bit of balsamic, a little oil, a little bit of salt over the top of it. Just give it a nice little toss together. It is always fresh. Just get a little bit more tomatoes in there. You can never have enough tomatoes. We use our heirloom tomato.
Oh, wow.
And over here you'll see our mozzarella. She just got done making it, so it's still a little soft. Finished right on top. We give it a little bit of oil over the top and a little bit of salt.
Beautiful. And you said, obviously, the mozzarella is made fresh.
Fresh, every day, yep. And now let's go plate our steak. We slice it, salad like this.
Now you said that is not on the menu?
Not on the menu, this is our special. Finished with the aged balsamic and extra virgin olive oil. And this right here is our sirloin salad special, which is a Kona crusted sirloin with a fresh tomato mozzarella salad.
Stunning.
And now this is the shrimp scampi that we made a little bit earlier. Let all the ingredients just melt together. You never want to overcook it, then it separates and breaks, and it's just, you don't want a greasy taste, you want a nice, smooth, buttery taste.
Amazing. Really, really beautiful. Can you talk about how careful Darden and the Capital Grille, of course, are with people with shellfish allergies, for example.
Like I said, 17 years in the company, I've never had an issue with it.
Right.
We have different steps for it. Once the server talks to the table,
Yes.
they'll find out about allergies. They'll let the kitchen know about the allergies.
Yes.
We have a slip for the allergies. Manager will go over to the table and address the allergies. I will go over with the server everything they can have and can't have. And then before they order the food, the server has to come to me or the chef in the window and go over everything that's in it.
Perfect.
Like you know, with allergies, it's not just one. You have the recipe, but then there's a million things that go into the recipe. So servers 100% know they have to come, and nothing. There's 3 steps. You always have to go through a chef, the server, and the manager on every.
So it's always good to kind of deliver this news to people, because people get very nervous, of course, as rightly so, right? And they can feel comfortable knowing they can order a steak, but there's no cross-contamination with shellfish.
Yes, my kids have allergies. I'm very aware of allergies, how important it is, and it's just a thing that we're very proud to be on top of.
Right. Chef Tommy, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
One thing's for sure, when you finish a chamber spotlight at the Capital Grille, you know that there's certainly something for everybody. If you haven't been here recently, you really should be coming down and taking a look again. For those of you that come here, the quality is as good as ever. For Chamber Spotlight, I'm Sonia Rollins. After I left the restaurant that day, I went home and showed everybody a picture of the steaks and all of that goes on in the back. It is so remarkable, Adam.
Thank you. I'll tell you, I have an incredible team.
Yeah.
And my executive chef, Thomas Patrick, is one of the best I've worked with in the 28 years that I've been with the Capital Grille.
Yeah.
And he just makes everything good. And
the energy in there is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's the power of teamwork, right?
It really is. We have a great team, and there are people who have been there since the restaurant opened.
Yes.
There's chefs that have been there for 10, 15, 17 years now. Will be open this year, and they're just an incredible group of people that want to do great and serve amazing food.
Yeah. So while we're talking about that team, because that team goes out with you, that team is a team that will actually go and do community service. Talk about the Darden Group, Capital Grille, and the power of community service.
Yeah, so Capital Grille, we've been doing a lot of stuff for the community since we started here, especially since I started 12 years ago. We were actually doing it before it.
Yeah.
We work with people helping people, Taste of Burlington.
Yeah.
We even do stuff that is not within the Burlington community. We're Mission of Deeds.
Yes.
Just a ton of different charities.
We've done the Relay for Life.
The Relay
before.
for Life, which we love that event. Such an amazing cause for that. And my team is always willing to step up and help. Anytime I need anything, everyone's always asking, what can I do? Can I help you with any of the off-site events that we do?
Yeah, I always encourage residents to look around when they see business people at a community event. That is actually speaking in volumes and saying they are there, and they're not only vested in their business doing well, but they're vested in showing the community that they're doing well. Like, if I can give one message to the community, you got to give back to those restaurants and businesses, quite frankly, that are out there doing it every day.
Yes,
I mean, it really is. It's really remarkable. And I asked the chef this, but I never got the chance to ask you when we were at Chamber Spotlight. If you walked into the Capital Grille, what's your meal?
What is my meal?
Yeah. What do you pick when you go?
So I'm probably going to pick a dry-aged sirloin steak, medium rare, side of mashed potatoes, a little bit of cream spinach.
Oh, right. Oh, my God, your chef said cream spinach, too.
Yeah, that's one of the best things on our menu. We also do an incredible lobster mac and cheese, too.
You do.
That I probably would add, too, if I came in for dinner.
Right, exactly. With a Stoli Doli.
Definitely a Stoli Doli, nice bottle of red wine, and you're having a great night with incredible service from really just an incredible group of people. I'm very blessed.
Yeah, it's true. And you have sister restaurants in town.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
we do. We have Seasons 52.
Yes.
We have Eddie V's.
Yes.
We have Yard House. And Capital Grille.
It's amazing.
All within the Darden brand company.
So
all those brands within Darden, which also does Olive Garden and Longhorn.
I don't think people realize.
Bahama Breeze, and
isn't that amazing?
One of the most incredible companies to work for.
Yeah, and it's been one of those things that each restaurant and all of its things, and they're all luckily, members of the chamber doing everything together. It's what you're talking about the teamwork, but each one has its flair.
Yes.
Each one really does have its flair. I love that.
Each one is just an incredible restaurant. They, you know, the partners of each restaurant, they do an incredible job.
Yeah. So I love to always tell people about the person. I always say we talk about the business and then we talk about the person a little bit. So what made you want to get into the restaurant business?
Well, oh, wow. I was living in New York, and you know, back in the day, you always want to take that bartending class and become a bartender.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was going to school. I took the bartending class, and then I went and got a job in Manhattan as a bartender, and I got the bug, and it just really made me love the action, taking care of people, the food, the different types of knowledge of you know, spirits and wine and food, which has always been one of my passions.
Right, right. So you actually get to mix work and play a little bit.
Exactly.
I know it's work for you. When I see you, you're always smiling there. So I'm like, this is great, but I know it's work for you.
It's definitely hard work, but it's definitely very rewarding. And I, you know, 28 years and I still love it. And I'm smiling every day when I go in.
I love it. You have your daughter, your wife, Pam, excuse me, who also works nearby.
Yeah, she works with Ethan Allen across the street.
Yeah.
She's been with Ethan Allen this year 20 years now.
Amazing.
And they're new members of the chamber.
They are members of the chamber. We're happy to have them. Exactly.
And she wanted to do that without me asking.
Yeah, I love that. It's perfect.
They wanted to,
right.
They wanted
Two
to
kids.
Be a part of it. Yes, 2 kids. I have Sydney, who's 21. She's a senior at Endicott.
Yeah.
And Dylan's 19. He's a sophomore at UMass Amherst.
Yeah.
And both just doing really well and very blessed.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I always say to people, you see a business person by day, but then it's always nice to kind of know, like, they've got their own thing going, they're working here, they have their family, so everything goes really well that way. All right, my question as we start to close out the show is, if you were to describe Burlington, you know, what's the uniqueness of Burlington by comparison to some of the other communities around? Not that there's anything wrong with any of the other communities.
No, it's great. You know, there's a sense of camaraderie within the community.
Yes.
And I'm always noticing, like, well, first, we don't live in Burlington, but I feel like I live in Burlington.
Sure, well, you spend many hours. Yeah.
You know, work out in Burlington and shop in Burlington and eat in Burlington. And it just really feels like everyone has each other's back.
Yeah. And,
you know, it just seems, you just get that sense of community feeling.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's just an amazing place to be.
Well, I as a resident, as a business person in town, but also as a member of the chamber with you, I mean, when you see all of the work that you're doing in all of those aspects, what you're saying is not because you haven't experienced it yourself. I mean, I feel like Burlington really is that magic little click of like really business, you know, and you get to do all these different things, and yet you're in this small, what feels like a small town really still, doesn't
it? It really does.
Yeah. The chamber has brought a bunch of us together, and we really sit down, and it's just so many different sized businesses by comparison. You know, when you see your clientele, it's a whole bunch of different avenues, right? I mean, of who comes in.
Yeah, it's well, it's business people.
Yep.
It's people having just a nice lunch with friends.
Yes.
It's birthdays. We do a lot of birthdays and anniversaries, a lot of special occasions, graduation. So it's a lot of fun to get to meet, you know, people celebrating different things, and you know, we create memories at the restaurant. It's nice to be a part of that with everyone. You know, special. You come in, you get a picture taken at the Capital Grille of the special occasion that you're having, and you know, you find out next year they come back and they always tell me that they're going to switch the picture on their mantle to the new picture.
To the new picture.
To the new picture that they got at the Capital Grille, and you know, it becomes a part of their life and our life.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you said that, Adam, because I like to drive this home for people too. It's not just a restaurant for like the very, we got to go there only when it's our 50th anniversary, our 25th anniversary. You're meeting all of these different people who are either there for a business lunch or there for something really huge, or really just to come and sit at the bar and have a drink and something to eat.
Come hang out with the bartenders. Got some of the best in Burlington, and just a real comfortable place. Some people that come, you know, a couple times a week, we have this particular group of people, they call it the clubhouse.
I love it.
And they come and they sit at the bar on Wednesdays, and they just have a great time.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to get to build those relationships with everybody.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I've been here for the past 12 years is build some really strong and incredible relationships. You know, people that come into the restaurant and from the community.
Well, listen, I wish you continued success as always, of course, there, but just remind everybody, Capital Grille hours.
Capital Grille hours. So we're open for lunch Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3.
Right.
And then we're open up for dinner every night. But we're open up all the way through, so you can come in and eat, Monday through Friday.
Right.
And we close at 9 o'clock, and then on Friday and Saturday we close at 10.
Great. So if you haven't been to the Capital Grille, you don't know how great it is until you step through those doors and not only get great food but great service there. So make sure you go visit Adam and all of his team at the Capital Grille.
We would love to see you in there. We'd love to have everyone.
Absolutely. You really got to go by and take a look. I'm going to try. I think I've had the cream spinach, but now that you've both said it, I got to get myself over there for some cream spinach.
If you want, I'll bring you some.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, please come in and see me. You can have
and
some.
we are looking forward to a Taste of Burlington again in October, of course. I don't want to rush us through the summer, but we'll soon be planning.
Sure, it's going to come up quick.
It's going to come up quick, and we're looking forward to putting everybody in. Hopefully our daytime population is going to start to grow back to what it was, but in the meantime, everybody's going to be enjoying it as they always have. So Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
I want to thank you all for joining me and Adam Mackler, my guest, today on BACC Talk. We are looking forward to seeing you again soon, and thank you for having us into the restaurant as well, Adam. I really loved being there, and if you haven't been there, please try it out. For BACC Talk, I'm Sonia Rollins. That's it.
Nice.
That's it.